Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. How about that? 22 wins in a row. The Daniel Sedin. We got telepathy. We got a lot of HP. We got a terrible rate of fire, but a great damage stat. MKYX. HPKZ. We have super magnet. I'm going to be real with you. Well, we're going to dump it, but hold on. I feel like Super Magnet is one of the first trinkets I ever picked up. Or maybe it was added in a DLC and it was one of the first trinkets I picked up in the DLC. I don't know if I've ever used it since. Because just constantly being beset on all sides by enemies rushing you down turns out not really that effective. Now I apologize, by the way. My voice might be a little hoarse. Since you heard me yesterday, which was actually earlier today for me, it's been a busy day. Lots of recording. I finished Doki Doki Literature Club, so videos of that will start going up, you know, I don't know, as of minus 6 days from when you're watching this video. Had a cool thing that Bear Taffy and I got up to. Did the stream. Long Track Mania video. I mean, you know how it is. It was a long day. It's only like 7 p.m., but this is going to be the last thing I'm doing today before, well, you know, apart from setting the videos, which admittedly takes like quite some time, but, you know, it's the last thing I'm actively doing with my voice here. And I'm a little scared. Does this work? Doesn't work. Like, why would you ever hold this then? I don't know. Maybe if you had an orbital in some alternate universe, you might consider it useful. Well, why am I trying to drop it off in the room that we just picked it up from? We don't even, you can just drop it off wherever. But I gotta say, I'm a little anxious. Am I pronouncing it right, Papa? I'm a little anxious. Because we had such an easy run last time that I feel like this is not a good statistical line of reasoning. But I feel like we're due. You know what I mean? It's like the inversion of gambler's fallacy, where the gambler is like, oh, we've lost so much, we gotta be about to win. Let's try down here then. I'm like in the exact opposite boat right now. I'm like, we've won so much and so easily, and we've dug so deep and so greedily, like the mines of Moria, that the day of reckoning is gonna come. No, my brother. They'll be expecting one of us in the wreckage. Okay, hey, just walk into the fire, dude. Oh, you dummy, he actually did it. That's pure pressure. How about that? Guess what? Get afraid? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, he's not gonna do it again, but... he's not like the image of Goofy. You know the one I'm talking about. I'll frickin' do it again. Hey, don't hit me with your exploding bombs. Alright, we gotta get out of here. I suppose we could go to the shop and buy a Spirit Heart, perhaps, but I got confidence. Blood Clot is pretty okay, for sure. Damage stat is amazing. You know, I hate to say it. Rate of fire bad, damage good. You know what would really hit the spot right now? Mom's knife. We're okay. We're okay. I mean, this is the value of telepathy here. It's a great item. Any special rooms? No special rooms. Now, if we get Mom's knife again, I'm almost scared of the reaction. I think we'd be in, like, full-blown conspiracy theory sort of situations there. People would be like, you know, he's had Mom's knife or Brimstone like 7 out of the last 10 runs. Are we really supposed to be expected to be believed that this is, there's no cheat engine going on? Hey, man. I'm just doing my best, okay? I don't control what the seed gives me. All I control is what we give the seed. You ever think of it that way? You know what? We're here. Let me in. This is not an ideal enemy for us to face. But it's not too bad. I don't know if we should do that. I'm getting a little nervous about walking into the dingle, knowing that we'd probably be a lot better off just walking away from the dingle. But I gotta be honest, is this like a champion? I don't know what's going on, but I feel like the telepathy is a pretty good hard counter here. Definitely let us just stay in there. Okay, just don't risk anything. Great shooting. Marbles is actually nice if it gives us a trinket worth taking. I think it did give us a trinket worth taking. I don't believe it, dude. Come on. Look. It's gotta be done. Like, I hate to say it, but it's... I called my shot and we got it, so I'm absolutely taking it. I kind of want Rodden Baby as well, but I'm not willing to go to bat for it that much, you know what I mean? And now, like, I mean, you should be happy, because now we got the ability to be a little bit more surgical. And all I say, you know, if you're annoyed about the mom's knife action, first off, one thing that I would genuinely say, and it's not, you know, I'm not trying to kill the golden goose on this one, but, you know, it is 2020. It's been 95 years since the release of the last piece of bespoke made Isaac content, you know. I'm still here. I'm still playing the game. Sometimes we might have to do things like take mom's knife, 12 runs in a row. And you know what? We can call it the mom's knife streak. We got the mom's knife streak. The only other thing I would say, and you may or may not be receptive to this, it's been a good day. Don't get me wrong. I actually really like telepathy here. It's been a good day. I got no complaints about the way today went. But it's been a long day. Like, this has been one of the longest recording days I think I've had in a while. And it's not just like normal... you know what? I will spend on this. It's not just like a lot of videos. It's like the Doki Doki stuff in particular. You know, you're basically reading out loud for like 40 minutes at a time. Over and over again. So we have not been to our item room, right? All I can think of is that like the item room is actually here. Or here? Or did we? No, we just went into the item room and I'm stupid. It had a black hole in it. Okay, get me out of here before my stupidity really costs me. Now, if they'll let me back in, I would love to take Rodden Baby at this point. But yeah, again, it's not a complaint, but, you know, it's... What do they say in that Futurama episode? Is like, you know, the mind is willing, or the spirit is willing, but the body is spongy and weak. It's like my throat is like, I don't want to talk anymore. And I'm like, come on, man. Just one more video. Just one more video for me. But yeah, it's been a good day. Had a good NLSS. Played baseball. Played Jeopardy. And played Fall Guys. I gotta say, in Fall Guys, as a team, we won 4 of the 5 episodes. Or 4 of the 5 rounds that we did. That's pretty good. That's pretty exciting. We're making... I mean, again, I don't mean to besmirch any other streamers out there, but there was a media event surrounding a streamer known as Timothy the Tattooed Man, trying to get his first win in Fall Guys. There's not sour grapes. I think they did a really good job of hyping it up, and, you know, you can learn lessons, I think, for yourself out of branding with that kind of stuff. But I'm like, come on, man. He's got 1 win. I've got at least 6 wins. Where's my national media attention? That's a joke, because 6 wins is not that special. But really, Apollo's got like 80 wins or more. Where's Apollo's recognition? It's a different story, I guess. Bad gamer wins game after long series of attempts. That's a great story. Good gamer is good. Not as much of a good story, I suppose. Here's a question for you. And it's not even tied to that, but it spun off from that conversation right there. You ever think it's unfair that society has such a bias toward the underdog? I know I've talked about this before, but like, I feel like the only situation... Well, that's not totally true, but one of the only situations where people don't root for the underdog is when the favorite is their team. You know what I mean? We're actually like the beneficiaries of that as Canuck fans right now. We're underdogs to St. Louis in our series that is over by the time of this recording. What I don't know is how it ended. And either way, it's fine, you know. I was talking, you know, about it when the Canucks were up 2-0 in the series. I was like, you know, at the end of the day, the best place to be with sports is where we're at right now. If my team does well, it pogs me up. If my team does badly, you know, I get over it quick. We had a pretty terrible game on Monday, and I was like, that sucks. All right, you want to watch The Office? You know, you get over it quickly. That's a good get for us right there. That's very valuable. Thank you. And some guppy items? Some spirit hearts? A guppy item. A guppy item. I like to do. And I'm okay with this. I think we'll just take this and get the heck out of town. Maybe we'll take a quick peek back here just to see, because if we get more spirit hearts or tinted rocks, we would definitely maybe go to the curse room to see if we can get another guppy item. Not that we'd expect it to be too fantastic. But, I sometimes I feel bad, if that makes sense. Because, like, I wouldn't say bad as in, like, sympathetic. Maybe it is sympathetic. I'm always like, it seems to me that it's, like, unfair that people root for the bad team. Like, and I say that, again, as someone benefiting from it right now. What does it say about us as a society that if we are not involved, if we're not personally invested in the number 2 and the number 7 seed, 90% of people, if you ask, like, who would you like to see win, will say, like, oh, number 7. I guess maybe an upset is always more entertaining than than things going as they expect. But I also think people don't understand, like, if I were on, I mean, I'd have other things to do with my time, I'm assuming, but if I were on, like, a favorite team in a sports league, like a team, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, in the NHL right now, probably either Las Vegas or Colorado is considered, like, the favorites to win the Stanley Cup this year. If one of those teams loses, there's going to be people that are like, oh my god, nobody could have ever seen this coming. How did they lose to, you know, Dallas? How did they lose to Calgary or whatever? The truth is, you know, if you look at, like, the stats for these teams, there's probably, like, a 60% chance that the favorite wins any given matchup. Which means there's a 40% chance that the underdog's going to win. And yet the underdog gets so much more credit for winning than the favorite would get. The favorite, they just go, yeah, but we expected you to win. If even a slight underdog wins, people are like, oh my god, we've never before seen an upset on this historic level, you know? I feel bad for the overdog. Like, if you, you know, especially in a sport like baseball, you know, you do great for a 182 game season, you know, pre-COVID. It's 182, right? Not 162? No, it's 162 because it's 81 is halfway there. You do well for a 162 game season. Your reward is every neutral fan of the sport is like, oh man, I'd love to see them lose in round 1. That's the reward you get for excellence. Meanwhile, they'll make a Kurt Russell movie about the team that beats you. Hardly seems fair. You can't, and I'm sure there's people arguing this in the comments right now. You can't support the overdog unless you're considered to be, like, you want to be seen as the villain. You know, oh, you're going to root for the Patriots? I don't know, at some point I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't say I root for the Patriots. That's a little slanderous, but at some point, isn't it cool to, like, root for a dynasty? You know, right now people are like, I hate them because they win a lot, but in like 20 years, people will be like, Papa, what was it like to watch Tom Brady win 6 Super Bowls? And you're going to have to look him in the eye and be like, we hated every second of it, even though we weren't really one of his rivals. It's a weird complex in sports fans, right? They always want to see someone new win, and yet they still, you know, if it's not going to be their team, they always want to see someone new win. Sure, why not? But still, it's also supposed to be, who wants it more? But when somebody wins it too many times in a row, they're like, I'm sick of Lewis Hamilton winning. Why won't he slow down and let Valtteri Bottas win? Anyway. I'm not saying it's weird. That's just, you know, I no longer default to the position that I root for the underdog. Like, I'll tell you, in the West Coast, if, West Conference, I should say, if, Vancouver gets knocked out, my allegiance falls to Colorado. Why? I think they got a young, exciting team. They, you know, I grew up in an era where the Avalanche were very good and also very fun to watch. You know, Peter Forsberg, Adam Deadmarsh, Sandis Ozolinch, Patrick Waugh. Did I say Peter Forsberg and Joe Sakic yet? I forgot. Anyway. Kristins, Krastins. But, yeah, they would, even though they're a favorite, they would probably be my pick that I would most like to see win. How about in the Eastern Conference? Honestly, I kind of like the New York Islanders, but I'll hit you with the straight dope on that. I don't have any, like, goodwill necessarily towards the New York Islanders, but I think, you know, Matthew Barzal is a stud. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the NHL for a long time. And secondarily, blue and orange, just a cool color scheme. Honestly, let's put the rush on this one. Neither of them are really over dogs. Or underdogs, I mean to say. You might think that the Islanders are probably underappreciated because they're the smaller New York team, but certainly not underdogs, especially if they end up beating Washington. But anyway, we don't need to talk exclusively about hockey. I apologize. What do you want me to talk about? I spend the rest of the day doing something that's under NDA as of the time of this recording. And then playing Doki Doki Literature Club, which probably the finals haven't gone up yet, so I'm not going to spoil it for you. Let me grab that, please. I don't really see a need for us to go to the shop on this floor. I mean, this is like, I apologize, but also I apologize. What does that mean? It means I'm sorry. You know how they said sorry for party rocking? You know how LMFAO said that? No? Don't say that I'm old. I'm the only person that remembers that song. I'm old enough that I was too cool for LMFAO when they were popular. I can't be old, but simultaneously also, you know, that's not even a song from my era. That's a song from a generation later than me. Well, a cohort later than me, let's say. Yeah, it's been a good day. Had a good, productive Wednesday. Thursday's always busy, too. Pardon me, it's not, what'd you think? It's just the dry throat. Should have gotten a glass of water prior to this. Wish I had more anecdotes, but, you know, for obvious reasons. You know what I was thinking about? So I've been watching a lot of Jeopardy again. We can mine this forever. So I love Jeopardy. I think Jeopardy's amazing. For the last 2 years, I've taken the online test and not gotten invited to an in-person audition. I think even this year they're doing Zoom auditions. I haven't gotten invited to a Zoom audition yet, which I assume means that they were so scared by my test scores, they went, we can't invite this guy or he'll never get off the show. It definitely does not mean that I, you know, screwed up the test both years. Anyway, I'm being facetious. I think I know exactly what it means. But it's still fun to watch, you know? Still just an exciting show to watch. But I realized Jeopardy is like the advertiser's dream of a or maybe not even the advertiser's dream, but that TV show has to be like a producer's dream, right? What do I mean by that? Setup, relatively easy. You know, you got the same set, you refresh it maybe like every 10 years or something like that. Then on top of that, you got a host you've had for a long time with an insane amount of goodwill built up. You get one returning contestant and 2 new contestants for each episode. And what is the meat of the show? Literally, there's 50 questions. Or no, sorry, 60 questions. So it looks like I got that one wrong on my online exam. You get 60 questions, 61 I guess with Final Jeopardy, and you just keep track of how people do, and you just whip through it. Like, the content is literally just, you know, hello, I'm Alex Trebek. 20 questions. Introduce the contestants. 10 questions. Double Jeopardy. Final Jeopardy. Like, and when you're doing the questions, it's just question, answer. Well, technically answer, question, I guess. Answer, question, answer, question, answer, question. I realized, like, I watched, like, 4 episodes of Jeopardy last night, and I've used, because I'm watching it on Netflix, I fast-forwarded through the player introductions. I fast-forwarded through You know, like I looked at the final Jeopardy question and fast forwarded if I knew the answer, so I didn't have to think about it for so long. I realized there's actually only like less than, I would say, 16 or 17 minutes of content in every single Jeopardy episode, and a ton of advertising space. Like, Jeopardy is like Isaac. If you cynically look at a television program, and I don't look at Jeopardy like this, I think Jeopardy is magical. But if you cynically look at a television program through the lens of economics, where it is a vessel to sell advertisements, Jeopardy is like the golden goose, right? You don't, I mean, you need writers, but am I suggesting that it's easier to write questions for Jeopardy than it is to write a television program like Breaking Bad? Yes, that's exactly what I'm suggesting. I'm not suggesting it's automatic, but I think it's, I think if you're saying it's hard in its own way, I'm like, yeah, I believe you, but come on. If I gave a 12-year-old access to the internet, what do you think they're going to do better at? A Breaking Bad clone or a Jeopardy clone? Now, which one would I rather watch? I would love to see a 12-year-old's version of Breaking Bad. I have no idea. Probably something to do with Roblox currency. But anyway, we did. Look, that's now you're just getting me interested in a project I'll never see. But I don't mean to insult the Jeopardy writers, mostly because I'd like at some point to be on the show. And also because of human decency. But the other thing I was like, oh, dude, it got me in like a trivia modality, right? Where I was like, I want to play more trivia. So I looked, I was like, surely there's good online trivia apps. I know there's HQ, which has like a cash prize, but it only runs like twice a day, right? And I don't really want to be gated into that 2 times a day sort of situation, even though I think the, you know, electric nature of a live event is a really cool space to explore for a mobile game, and that's probably why it did so well for so long. But I was looking and I was like, you know, what are the best online trivia games? So I ended up downloading a couple for my phone. One I got was Trivia 360, and it was okay, but like, I honestly don't believe that the people I was being matched against in that game were real human beings. I know that sounds insulting, but like, don't get me wrong. I get my share of dumb questions wrong, right? Just give me a second here. I think we don't want it. I just don't think we want it. But there are people that, you know, you get matched with them, and the question would be like, what city is the Eiffel Tower in? And it's multiple choice, like Paris, London, Washington, D.C., Rome. And this routinely happened. They don't pick Paris. And I'm like, don't get me wrong. I believe that there's people out there that don't know that the Eiffel Tower is in Paris. But are there really people out there that don't know the Eiffel Tower is in Paris, and those same people are like, I love trivia? I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I believe that the game matched me against bots to make my self-esteem better. Like, some of them were literally basically as easy as, like, you know, name this president, John F. Blank, and then people would be like, Bush? Like, it's just, I don't believe, I believe people that would answer that question in that way exist, but I don't believe they are actively seeking out online trivia on the regular. Not in the frequency I would expect to find them at in these games. But then, like, I got another game, I think it was called Quiz Up 2. And it was, like, the most popular trivia app on the store. And I was like, I just want to play trivia. I don't even really want to play against other people, but if that's what you got to do to play the game, that's what you got to do. And then I loaded up this game, and it's like, you've answered the question. The answer to the question, it gives you 7 trivia bucks. Click on this, and I'm like, what's this? And it's like, that's your trivia pet. Your trivia pet gets hungry every 12 hours, and you need to feed him bananas in order to keep him happy. If he doesn't get happy, watch out. And I'm like, I just want to answer. I just want you to give me a question, and not even multiple choice, just a question, and then I'll be like, you know, I'll click the button or type it in. But same thing happened. I downloaded the Jeopardy World Tour app. And I get it, by the way. Take it from somebody who's been in 2 Champions of Fire events. I understand that these games have to make money so that they can pay me to compete in their mobile esports tournaments that are now defunct. However, just like for me, it really missed the mark, where it was like in Jeopardy World Tour, you compete against other people. The questions are way easier than they were on the show, but it was like a reasonable facsimile of the easiest questions you might find. But then it was like, you know, the game portion of it opened up, and it was like, it costs you silver to compete in Istanbul, but it costs you a yarn to compete in Amsterdam. And I was like, what is even happening here? Like, I get that it's called World Tour, but I just don't understand what we're doing. You know what I should check? I should check and see if Sporkle has an app. Because, like, Sporkle on the mobile website is not very nice to use. Not being disrespectful. Sporkle, by the way, for anyone who's not aware, is, like, probably the world's largest user-generated trivia website. It's really good. I would definitely recommend it if you're a fan of trivia. I would not recommend navigating to the web version of the site on your phone, but maybe they have a mobile app that's a little bit more optimized for, you know, basically touchscreen controls. Should have hit the button there. This is, I mean, what do you want me to say? It's the easiest run of all time. But I'm also suggesting, if you have a good trivia app that you use, please let me know what it is. I'll give you my #1 things I want out of it. I don't care if it costs money, if it's under $10. I think that I would, you know, we'd pretty much go for it, if it does what I'd like. And then the other thing is, I really don't care if it's head-to-head. What do I want? A large selection of relatively, you know, varying in difficulty, but definitely not towards the super easy side. Questions that don't repeat. Like in some of these apps, it was literally like, you know, Ottawa is the capital of what country? And I'm like, Canada. And then like 3 questions later, it's like, Canada's capital is which of these cities? And you're like, yeah, it's Ottawa, dude. Like, we were getting repeated questions like nonstop. That's really it. I don't really, I would like stat tracking on the individual level. I don't really care about leaderboard access to the globe. So I'm given, like, you'd think it's an easy thing to make, but I will also admit that it's not necessarily something I would expect to see, because I don't expect it to necessarily be a big money maker, you know? A solo or multiplayer standalone trivia app that probably has a one-time, you know, buy-in price. But if it exists, or something of the ilk exists, please let me know. I do not care about playing everybody's ants in a quiz about, you know, Brad Pitt movies. I'm just going to defeat them. I know them all. Yeah, even that. Yes, even that one. Even the one he doesn't know. Well, that was a weird thing to say. In my head, I was like, what would be a good punchline? And then when I said it, I was like, I don't have film of Brad Pitt, I promise. I mean, I have some of his films, but I don't have, like, film, you know, of Brad Pitt. I mean, I have some clips saved, but who doesn't? I mean, you see when he took his shirt off in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? The man's in incredible shape. For someone his age. And for someone my age, quite frankly. Wonder who waxes him. Anyway, hold on, I wasn't even pointing the knife in the right direction here. Well, for now, this is a weird episode, but it's a good one. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. We got 23 wins in a row. Alex Adler, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!